Hello everybody, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video. Today we are going to take a look at a few of my clips I gathered during my climb up the tiers. And we're going to start off with a bit of a laugh. I'm in my artillery, yeah, I know, scumbag, but hey, I'm not going to claim to be anything else but that, but anyway. We have a very cheeky Panzer 1C here. Let's just wait and see what happens, shall we? Well, with that beautiful clip done, let's move on to a different kind of high explosive fun, which would be the Hetzer, the Tier 4 German tank destroyer. I have the derp gun fitted. It's a 105mm gun, which, yeah, if you don't know derp guns, they're highly inaccurate, take a long time to load, take a long time to aim, and they fire one hell of a monster shell. Now generally you load these things with HE, because it doesn't really give that much less penetration than the armor piercing anyway, and you actually do considerably more damage, about 400 alpha damage on this thing. Now, unless you were firing at a lightly armored target, you're unlikely to do that damage, but still, 500 damage is 400 damage is nothing to laugh at. And remember, even if you don't penetrate, the HE shell can still do a lot of damage. You'll see a lot of that display through. Just a moment, I'm really quickly going to set the sound a little bit lower. It's a bit loud to me. There we go. Back to battle. There we go. Anyway, I'm platooned up with Nathaniel and NTJ493. I forget what the rest of its name is. 4931. There we go. Two close friends of mine, and yeah, neither of them was familiar with the Hetzer and its glorious derp gun. So yeah, I for the start of the match take up a sniping position here. Not really the best place to be in my Hetzer anyway. I shoot a bit prematurely there. I should probably have waited. There's yeah, now I cannot shoot at the Stuart. That would have been very nice. I had the flush sight. It's very hard to miss a Stuart, I find. They're so tall. Anyway. I'm wondering how useful I still am in this position, so it wouldn't take me long to move from here. Yeah, here we go. Should probably have pulled back and then moved, but yeah, I choose not to. Actually quite an exposed position, but I see this KV-1S and I think I can put a shot into him. Very dangerous tank. Another KV-1S. Again, I hope to take a shot at him, but he disappears behind cover before I can aim my shot properly. And there we go, 127 damage. So that's nowhere near the full alpha damage. The full alpha damage of this gun has a pretty good chance of one-shotting that tank, but unfortunately, as chance would have it, yeah, it didn't go through the armor. But that doesn't mean it won't cause damage. There we go, we just picked up the first kill of the game. Don't know how much damage I caused exactly, but I suppose we'll find out in the post-game stats. But we're a while away from that. First still have to kill quite a few tanks. We are getting ahead. I have lost one of my allies. NTJ4931 died in, I think, was a scouting run. I tried to make use of a scouting. Unfortunately, the derp gun does not prefer it very well downrange. So this is more or less where you want this thing to be. Quite close, but with the enemy focusing on other stuff, or even better if you can outmaneuver your opponent. I find the Hetzer has a very nice track traverse, so it's remarkably mobile for a tank that, yeah, for a tank destroyer. Normally these things don't turn very well, and they're not very fast. Now the Hetzer is not super fast, I would say. 30 kilometers per hour is usually what it does, which is not bad, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there are definitely faster tanks out there. Also tank destroyers, but the tractor reverse is truly magnificent. Which means you can pull off some... I think it's a quite noob-friendly tank. You don't have to to aim as much for weak spots and stuff to penetrate your shots, and you don't actually... yeah, if you get outmaneuvered, you can still turn your tank around and shoot at them. So even if somebody comes surprises you, you can still do some good. Here I track this KV-1S, which is very unfortunately stuck now. I decide to aim at his lower plate, but make sure the blast radius can still hit his tracks, so he doesn't come up and destroy me. That would be very unfortunate, because that's a very high tier tank. Somebody else in my team finishes him off. I'm perfectly fine with that. These two tanks down there, I've got my eye on them. I want to engage them in a fashion that once I killed the first, I can still kill the second. Unfortunately, the T-34 has a very high rate of fire, very high DPM. So if I were to derp the Su-85 behind him, he would probably take me apart. But luckily my teammates helped me out and take the choice away from me. Su-85 gets destroyed, so I can focus on the T-34, which I one-shot with considerable ease. The T-34 does not have magnificent armor, and to be honest, I think I could have done the full 400 somewhat damage that this HE shell can do. Because, yeah, the armor really isn't that thick, and when I shoot at it from the angle I did, it's pretty much a flush shot, so, yeah. Anyway, I just saw my my cap going off, so I slowly but steadily lumber my way back. As you can see, it's really not super fast. I mean, 39 is not bad, but I did just get a run or a little boost by going downhill. If I go uphill, you can see it's not super fast. It really isn't. 24 kilometers per hour. I mean, it's a tank destroyer. You shouldn't expect this thing to be, you know, a light tank speed with 70 kilometers per hour. Though there are some tank destroyers that are freakishly fast, but yeah, the Hetzer is just not one of them. I would say it's a fast average for this. Now here I pull back a bit so the Churchill can't hit me properly. Angle my tank a little bit. Unfortunately, with these types of TDs, you can't really angle very extremely. Take a snapshot there, kill my opponent. I was a bit lucky that hit. I should probably have waited for that to aim, but yeah, it was a bit clumsy there. Trying to angle my tank and aim my gun at the same time really wasn't working. But as you can see on the flat, on the flat here, it does about 30 kilometers per hour reliably. So yeah. I mean, that heavy tank in front of me, what is it? The KV-1S is actually outrunning me right now. I don't think I'm actually going to have a lot of influence in the game anymore at this point. We've won this. There's only one. I think it's a KV-1, maybe a KV-1S. Hard to tell from the logo. I think it's a KV-1. There you go, KV-1. There he is, and as soon as he gets spotted, the entire team unloads. So, bang, 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 and he will not live for a long time now. Gets a few more shots off, so I suppose for him it's nice. He still was able to do some damage, get some more XP in, but for us, not so much. And that was the game. I'll see you in the post-game stats. Here we are. We can see I got my Tier 1 Mastery Medal out of this. Fire for effect, more damage than was caused to me, and the Bruiser Medal. Let's go to the team score and see how I did there, shall we? See, I ended top of my team. I did 885 damage, which was rather nice. I fired a grand total of 11 shots, of which 8 hit, and yeah, it counts it as penetrations, but to be honest, as soon as it sees damage done, then it counts it as penetration. So that's not really an accurate number. I would prefer that this would be damaging shot instead of penetration, but oh well. Anyway, this was a rather nice match for me. Let's go for the next one, shall we? And here we are for the second and last replay of today's episode. I myself am in the Panzer 38 NA, and I'm platooned up with Duck NL, who you might recognize from my the XVM video. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. He had a very nice match. It was the final match of that clip. Anyway, this is a quite old replay. I had just gotten into this game at this point. This was literally one of the one of the earlier matches in this tank. This is a scout tank. It gets scout matchmaking, which is why the Canal is in a tier 5 tank. It basically gets the matchmaking of a tier 5 medium, with the exception that I can sometimes, on very rare occasions, can get into tier 4 matches, but it really doesn't happen a lot. I highly recommend using this tank together with binocular telescopes and cannonette. Also, crew skills here are very important. But yeah, I don't have this for this playthrough, and yeah, I initially was going to hang on to this for the eventual, or for the maybe, or I'm not speak English. Bah! If I was ever to do a review of this, that I would have this nice clip of me doing well in this tank, but yeah, this is really not how you should be using this tank. But I figured, given that this series will be called something along the lines of the journey to tier 10 or something like this, I haven't really decided yet. You know, but I don't yet. So I figure I'd show you the more noobish videos that I've got of myself playing, as well of the ones that I've already had a bit more practice, like the one I showed you earlier. But here I am in my light scout tank, and I'm using it as a sniper in a position where I'm really not that stealthy. But yeah, for now things are working my way. Nobody's hit me yet, but I have no doubt that will change in the near future. Here I decide to move up. I do like this move of myself. I saw that all the support of him that was spotted was dead. So I decide to move up and try to get some flanking maneuvers on these enemies. Now my ally, the Canal, is very badly hurt. He only has 3% health left. But yeah, I find myself in a position here where I can do some damage to this Electo. Now, I'm not sure what happened there, if I actually rammed this Electo. It kind of felt like it did, but either way, he was dead. Now run into some stones here. I did mention this was one of my earlier games, right? Yeah. By the way, I would not recommend this tank to a starting player. I mean, I myself had some experience with the game. I had once had an account for like 3 weeks before I forgot the login stuff of it, so my login data, my password and stuff like this. But yeah, even I really struggled in this tank. It gets tier 7 matches, and really the gun is, well, to put it simple, it's terrible. It has nice DPM, but the penetration is actually not that different from the penetration of the howitzer you saw in the previous video. Let me show you. I'll just quickly killed something there on the background. Oh. Here we have it. 70 damage, 67 penetration. Now I believe the AP on the HE shells, or on the armor penetration on the armor penetrating shells of the Hetze, derp gun, yeah, has about 62. So this is almost the same penetration as the HE shells, or as the howitzer on the Hetze. But that thing has 400 and, what is it, 20 or 40? I keep forgetting. At least a metric butt ton of alpha damage. This thing, it does 70. So yeah, it's really not an amazing gun. But that being said, it's swift and it has a nice view range, which makes it a good passive scout.
Target acquired. I don't see the target.
All in all, I had a nice match here. I was able to do a fair bit of damage myself. I don't think I did a humongous amount of spotting damage, maybe a bit, I'm not sure.
Where'd they go?
Probably a bit, but yeah. Me moving around in the tier 4 German scout here. A damn near miracle that I survive here. I'm driving through the wall, nice and stationary in front of a gigantic gun. Move up, let's get stuck once again. There we go.
That one bounced.
I think he was reloading actually, so he couldn't catch himself with me. But yeah, This is where we win the match. I'll see you in the post-game stats. Here we are in the post-game stats. This was once again a tier 1 mastery match. Killed 3 tanks in total. Let's see where I was in the overall. I got first in experience earned, not by a long shot first in the damage done. That I was 4th. In the detailed report we can see I did actually get a fair bit of spotting damage, 445. Not terrible for a tier 5 match at all. And did a nice amount of damage myself too, 624, that's nothing to laugh at with this tank. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Expect more of these kinds of episodes. I have a lot of these replays that I don't really feel justify their own videos per se, but I do think are enjoyable to watch, and I feel like I either did well or whatever, something fun happens that I decide to share with you. So yeah, if you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like. Don't hesitate to comment on my genius performance here. I'm sure there's plenty to say about it. But yeah, I'll see you for the next one.